The following program is brought to you by the Internet Broadcasting Organization.
Little difficult to plan ahead. We try and get our trainers and our rescue folks, our volunteers, and our vets here, but it can't always happen. Emergencies happen. There's transports going on right now. If you live in Tampa, you know it's kind of a monsoon right now, so bear with me if I'm a little disheveled tonight. I spent the last hour trying to get the water out of my lanai as it creeped into my house. So that was fun coming out of work. So anywho, we are going to talk tonight, as I promised, on our Facebook page about natural ways to boost your dog's overall health and well-being, his coat, his breath, his immune system, his, hers, whatever. And this also does pertain to cats for the most part, for those of you who do have cats as well as dogs. But we are going to talk about some great and easy, very easy things you can do to help your dogs without chemicals, without a bunch of additives, and a whole lot cheaper than buying some of the stuff that exists out there that has some things in it, such as some of the dog treats and things like that. So bear with me. I do have notes today because I want to make sure I get everything right. I don't want to screw up anything and give anybody the wrong information. So the first thing we're going to talk about is dogs eating grass. So it is kind of a myth that dogs eat grass because they have a bellyache. So I think we associate it with, oh, they're eating grass and then suddenly they vomit, so they must not have felt well. That's not necessarily the case. Unfortunately, a dog likes the taste of grass, but it cannot digest it. So unfortunately, it goes in and comes out in the same form. So most of the time, that ends up coming back out the mouth. So it doesn't mean that they have an upset stomach. It just means they like the taste of it. If they feel like being grazers, they're bored, whatever it may be, it's there. It's kind of like when you are sitting around somewhere and you know there's pretzels or chips or whatever it may be, and you're like, oh, I know it's there, but I shouldn't. Oh, but I want it, so I'm going to snack. So your dog snacks on grass. And there's good reasons for that, and it could provide some really great nutrition for him if they could digest it. So the problem is that chlorophyll, which is what's in grass and almost all plants actually, and algae, while not digestible in grass, which is what they have available to them, dogs don't have fingers and opposable thumbs and all sorts of stuff that they can open the fridge, although I've seen dogs do it, unfortunately, to take your broccoli out, take your spinach out, or whatever it may be, and get them on their own. We do, but, well, some of us do, but they do not. So we have to provide that for them. There are some huge, huge benefits to chlorophyll in their diet. So chlorophyll is basically the green pigment that is found in almost, again, all plants and all algae. The molecular structure of chlorophyll is almost identical to hemoglobin. So I'm assuming everybody knows what that is, but in case you don't, hemoglobin is in your red blood cells. So hemoglobin carries oxygen to your dog's organs and cells, just as it does us. So actually everything we're talking about tonight pertains to you as well. So get your dog healthy, get yourself healthy at the same time. So dogs eat chlorophyll, And what it does is it replenishes their red blood cells. Makes sense, right? So chlorophyll will help cleanse the cells of the body, fight infection, heal wounds, build your immune system, and detoxify all systems, especially the liver and digestive systems. So if you think of the chlorophyll and what it's doing to your system, think of it as a flush again. So you're thinking digestive health. So in the way people talk about probiotics and things like that to help your digestive health, you're doing the same thing for your dog. So again, your digestive system really, really benefits from it. Another great thing about chlorophyll is it causes your dog to have fresher breath. So I don't know anybody who says, my dog has really great fresh breath. I don't care how many times you brush them. Dog's breath does not taste well. Why is that? Because they don't get a lot of chlorophyll. There's not a lot of chlorophyll in most of the foods that they're eating, even some of the natural foods. Again, you've got to have a lot of those veggies in there. And I'm talking real veggies. I'm not talking about the fake stuff in Beneful that looks like corn and carrots and so forth. That's coloring. I'm talking about actual vegetables. So it'll prevent bad breath because it eliminates the odor. It also increases your oxygen utilization. Again, this is dogs as well as people, although this is a dog show, so we're just going to keep it there. It'll break down calcium oxalate stones in your bladder. So there are a lot of dogs who can't process some of the foods and things that they're eating, especially if you're giving them people snacks, causing stones in their bladder. As you know, bladder stones and stuff are not easy, especially in little dogs. I have a friend who has a little dog. It has cost her thousands of dollars in surgery and specialty foods and everything else for her dog to not have those stones. So again, adding these vegetables to your dog's diet and getting the chlorophyll will help with that as well. What else? One of the big keys for me, because you've probably heard me, if you've watched my show, talk about cancer in dogs and how rampant it is, especially in my beloved golden retrievers. So chlorophyll helps the ability, it reduces the ability of the carcinogens to bind with the DNA in your liver and other organs. So you think cancer, you think carcinogens. People say, okay, what's a carcinogen? There are a lot of things besides the cigarette smoke and what's the stuff in the walls there? The paint, the lead paint, things like that. All of those are carcinogens, and there's tons of them in the air, everywhere. I mean, you really can't avoid it. Unfortunately, there's carcinogens in a lot of natural things as well as chemicalized things. So fighting cancer, I mean, that's what we're talking about. It's reducing the carcinogens ability. So you need natural chlorophyll in your body, and it reduces the chances of cancer. Now, people have also said it can treat cancer as well. Whether that's out there, whether it's true, whether there's studies done on it, I haven't gotten that far yet, but it is definitely said out there alongside that it helps prevent. It also can, if your dog has cancer, help for it not to get worse or possibly make it better, depending on what kind of treatment you're doing with your dog for the cancer. It also binds to toxic heavy metals. I don't know if you have experience with that in your own body, but basically it eliminates them from the body before they cause organ damage, which is most common kidney failure. The toxins get in our system, they attach, causes kidney failure. This actually binds to those toxic heavy metals and eliminates them from the body. Rock on. The good news, you can provide your dogs and cats and yourself with digestible chlorophyll. It's super easy, healthy, delicious treats. So you can, of course, eat broccoli and eat spinach and parsley and all the other things that are really high in it within your own food. Your dog, like I said, it doesn't really come in a lot of their foods, so you've got to supplement with it. Dogs aren't always going to be really open to eat spinach. It's not exactly crunchy. It has a funky consistency, so highly unlikely they're going to eat it. Same as parsley, not really something a dog's going to eat. You've got to make something with it. So you can lightly saute it in butter. So that'll give it an added taste. They like the butter. It changes the consistency. You can saute it or mulch it and put it into things with like bananas, which are really great for your dogs. Yogurt. I'm not talking your, strawberry yogurt. I'm talking plain Greek yogurt, which also has probiotics for the dog. Pumpkin, which is a huge digestive additive for dogs. It can make them go to the bathroom. It can also help them. It's strange how that works, and I don't really have that. Maybe we'll have to ask our Dr. Register, hopefully next time she comes on board, as to why pumpkin can not only help with the constipation in a dog, but it also can actually stop the diarrhea. So it kind of does both. It's a little strange, but great for your digestive system. Apple pieces, and I want to make sure people understand there are things that are dangerous to dogs in some of our fruits and vegetables. Apple core is one of them, so you would chop the apple up in pieces, peel it, and you're just talking apple chunks. Basically, if you took, say, spinach, parsley, broccoli, green beans, sugar, snap peas, Chinese cabbage, any of that stuff, put it in a blender, mush it all up, or saute it, whatever you mean to do. Take the bananas, take the yogurt, whatever it is, mix it all in. Dogs love when you give them a treat and mix it into their food. So if they've got dry food, you can mix it into their food, gives off that smell, makes it really yummy. Or what you could do is actually pack it in so the consistency, you want it to be a little bit thicker. And if you buy those big hollow marrow bones, those real big ones, well, I guess if you're a little dog, it's a little smaller, you can stuff it in. So when you buy those, they usually come with like a marrow inside. So the dogs always get that out first. So you take this and you stuff it in there. Or if you have Kong toys that have the openings, or there's a lot of toys that are now made specifically to have an opening in it to keep your dog busy by you putting peanut butter or something in it. Well, peanut butter is great and they absolutely love it, but how about something that's super nutritious for them and going to help them? The other thing you could do, if all else fails, dogs love anything with cheese in it. So cheese works. Again, peanut butter you could mix in. It might be a little strange with the taste. Eggs. Dogs love eggs. Eggs are really great for them. Lots of protein, very natural. Scrambled eggs, put it in. Again, they'll eat it that way. You could also, once you've blended it or into and compact it, you could actually put it into ice cube trays. And especially these hot summer days down here, your dogs love frozen treats. You can make all sorts of frozen ice cream treats for your dogs super naturally with the yogurt, with the banana, with vegetables if you can get them in there. And there's some other additives I want to talk about in a minute. But these are really great treats for your dogs. They'll love them, and it's super, super healthy for them. But green isn't all there is. There are a full rainbow of colorful fruits and vegetables out there, as you're well aware. They have phyto, this is why I have notes in front of me, nutrients. Now I just have to read them. Phytonutrients are the organic compounds found in plants that help prevent disease. So phytonutrients are found in things, well, broccoli is green, granted, but it's in there. Apples, again, we talked about just the slices, not the core. Blueberries, carrots. Carrots are a little hard for a dog to digest raw. My guys love them because they're crunchy, so they make great little treats. However, they have a little bit of a hard time digesting them. So if you give your dog a lot of carrots, you may notice they could vomit, or you may see it hurt, just give their a little bit of an upset stomach. It's not a big deal. It's just a little bit hard for them to digest. So if you do cook them a little bit, soften them up, steam them, it will actually help them in that. But carrots are really, really great for your dog. Things that you don't think of: cranberries, beets, kale, obviously, in the same sense of like broccoli and spinach, alfalfa, dandelions. Think of all the colorful fruits and vegetables. Just like we say to ourselves, these are things that we can eat to make us healthy. These are things you can give your dog. There are basic things you stay away from with your dog that are considered vegetables or fruits. I would definitely advise you to look them up to get a whole list of them. But of course, we know top on the list is onions. Do not give your dog onions of any shape, kind, or whatever. If you're growing them, be careful. It's the root of the onion that can be dangerous. Now, that does not translate to garlic. I do want to make that clear. There are mixed notions out there with garlic, but studies have been done all over the place. If you hear that, oh, garlics can be toxic to dogs, it can cause liver damage and red blood cells and all that kind of stuff, that is not the case unless your dog is eating an insane abundance of garlic. And I can't imagine you would want to do that because you couldn't physically live in your home if your dog was eating this much garlic. But it would take say my golden retriever, 80, 90 pounds, even a 60-pound dog, it would take them 60 to 70 cloves of garlic before it becomes dangerous to their blood cells. So in general, you're maybe giving them 1, 2 most at a meal to flavor something. Garlic is a great flavoring for dogs. It's really, really good for them. There's all sorts of benefits of garlic. It boosts your immune system. It also helps fight cancer. There's just so many benefits to it, and it is also a natural deterrent for fleas. It's something that a lot of people do, but I don't advise buying garlic pills. Cooking garlic in the food, like if you're making pastas, things like that, you're not getting the benefits of the garlic out of it. I'm not a huge garlic fan myself, but I know a lot of people love it. Chopping up your garlic, finely chopping it, even mincing it or pressing it, that is when you get the biggest health benefits out of the garlic. So if you're making that mushy stuff, the banana, the spinach, all that stuff, whatever it may be, for your dogs, utilizing all your colorful fruits and vegetables and all your greens, you can add garlic in there with it. But again, mince it up, dice it up, slice it up, whatever you want to do. Dogs love the taste of it. They love the smell of it. If you're doing like your dog has an upset stomach and you're doing just like the white rice and ground beef or the white rice and chicken, sometimes there's just not enough smell to that, not enough flavoring, because if you're doing ground beef, you're taking the oil out and not adding salt and pepper and things. Adding a little garlic in there is the perfect thing to do because it does help their digestive system. So add your garlic into that. It will help them immensely. It does very similar things to what the chlorophyll does. Not exactly at the same level, but again, anything helps. So let's go through with our phytonutrients. We talked about carrots. We talked about blueberries. Things that you just don't necessarily think of. There aren't a lot of vegetables out there. Well, I guess onion's probably considered a vegetable. I can't think of anything else that's dangerous to the dogs. Just be careful. In the same sense, like some of the fruits that we talk about, grapes aren't really all that nutritious for your dogs, and the skin on the outside of it can be a little bit dangerous, so you technically would have to peel the grapes to give them to your dog. Again, it's in large quantities that the problem would be, or if you have a very small dog, you have to be obviously a lot more careful because it's per pounds of body weight. Something else that you can add that I wanted to talk about is spirulina. So I imagine at some point in time you've heard of it in your lifetime that spirulina can be really great for human health. Again, same thing translates to your dog. Spirulina is a microscopic algae. It is, and I mean this is huge, the most remarkable concentration of nutrients known in any plant, food, grain, or herb. I mean, there's nothing else you can say more so than that. It has the most remarkable concentration. It also has the highest protein concentration of any food. So for people who are vegetarians and they don't get a lot of protein because they're not eating red meat and eggs and things like that, depending if you're vegan or not, it has 60% digestible vegetable protein. So, I mean, this is huge for your dog, yourself, your cat, whatever it may be, but really, really great thing to add to your dog's health. There are a lot of ways you can add spirulina. We'll talk about those in a minute. It also has the highest concentration of beta carotene. So you think orange, you think your carrots. Well, spirulina actually has the highest concentration of beta carotene. Also has the highest concentration of vitamin B12, iron, trace minerals, rare fatty acid, which is called linolenic acid. I may have got that wrong. Let's just say GLA for those that know what it is. But basically, think of the B12, you think of the beta carotene, you think of the iron, all of that. What does it say to you? Boosts our immune system. You want to always boost your dog's immune system, whether it's a baby or whether it's a everyday dog. You go to the dog park maybe. It's in the grass, the rainstorms that we have, all that bacteria that comes in. People don't understand why suddenly their dog's stomach isn't feeling well, whether they're vomiting or have diarrhea. Those are most commonly from the bacteria that comes from the water that is sitting. So it rains out so often this time of year. Well, every day, unfortunately. Like I said, it's been monsoon weather. And the puddles and everything, all the bacteria grows. It's really disgusting. It's not that you're doing something wrong. I would, unless your dog never goes outside, never drinks out of a puddle, steps in it, or anything of the sort, your dog is at some point in time going to have some sort of bacterial issue that's gastrointestinal. So again, all of these things we're talking about tonight, huge benefits to their immune system, their gastrointestinal, their digestive system. It also reduces the risk of infection. So not just bacterial, also viral. This is cancer, autoimmune disease. I mean, again, this is huge. So there's the big C word, there's the big cancer. So in ourselves, for all of the carcinogens in our system, your dog is inhaling the same things. It's exposed to the same things, and more so in a lot of the commercialized foods and everything else that they're being given. So again, reduces cancer. I can't stress that enough. It promotes cellular health, which, obviously, as they said, reduces the risk of cancer, but also there's been some studies that say it can help treat as well. It also has chlorophyll in it. So bonus there, of course, it's a dark green algae. So it has chlorophyll in it, which, and again, detoxifies the bodies of pollution. It helps allergies. I never had allergies up in Boston. A lot of people do. I moved down here. Whew, holy cow. They are just rampant down here. My son has really bad allergies, a severe allergy to oak, which is everywhere. So helps your allergies. A lot of people are allergic to dust, obviously the oak and the elm and the pine and the pollens and everything that are out there. It could be dogs, it could be cats, the dander and the fur. There's so many other things people can be allergic to. Again, anything that boosts your system, you think of your immune system, that also helps you with your allergies. Basically, the one thing that I will say, it amazes me how many people do not think of any of this for their dogs, or maybe you're just concerned, well, I'm not sure really what to give my dog. Talk to your veterinarian, say, hey, what are the foods? What are the fruits and vegetables that I can give my dog that is healthy to them? So vets are usually, their concern is more so going to be if you're adding in supplements. So if you're going to the store and you see, even say a PetSmart, and you're standing in the aisle where you've got all the dewormers and things, and you've got all the shampoos, you also have all these supplements, and you don't know what to do with them. You have all the fish oils, and you have all the glucosamine and chondroitins. And I mean, there's just so many different vitamins out there. Just as when we go to CVS, Walgreens, whatever it may be, there's this huge aisle of all these supplements we can take. We don't know exactly what we need in our bodies. Testing will be your easiest way to do that. Test your blood, test it for the metals, see what you need. Do you have high cholesterol? Do you have high triglycerides? Which garlic, by the way, is a huge helper in high cholesterol and triglycerides. Those are the things that you want to think about as you're going to the store. You're seeing all these. Talk to your vet. Find out which ones are safe for you. But your biggest thing is you can do this naturally. Can't stress it enough. You don't need chemicals. You don't need supplements. You can just give them the simplest things. Parsley has 1 cup of parsley has, I think it's like 42 grams of chlorophyll in it. It's absolutely amazing. So parsley, broccoli, spinach, green beans, those are all the things we've talked about. You can also, again, think of Taste the Rainbow and No Not Your Skittles. You're talking carrots, you're talking beets, you're talking cranberries, blueberries. Everything that you can think of that sounds good to you and has that little bit of sweetness, your dog is going to love it too. You can buy spirulina in powder form, so you can add it too. So if you're giving your dog wet food at all, which I don't recommend unless you're doing it as a treat, because wet food is, of course, higher in fat. It's also much more expensive because it's mostly water. If you're giving your dog wet food, you can mix in the powder. If you want to mix the powder into their water bowls, if you want to give them a little treat, which you can do instead of giving wet food, is you take the dry food and you add a little bit of water. So maybe heat up a little bit of water, put in some of the spirulina powder, a little bit of garlic, pour it over their food. They are going to chomp that down faster than you can imagine. It doesn't have to be icky treats. It doesn't have to be Alpo smelling stuff. Again, the garlic and all these additives will help them immensely. You can also buy it in capsules. A lot of dogs don't like taking pills. It's not easy. If you do want to give your dog the capsule form, I highly recommend a piece of cheese. My yellow lab, actually, Scooby's the only dog I've ever met who won't eat cheese. But if you put the capsule in a piece of cheese or lunch meat, if you've got like ham, turkey, chicken, anything like that, you can easily wrap it in there. Some peanut butter, a piece of bread, whatever it may be, a piece of meat, which would be a whole lot healthier. Scrambled eggs, again, they love eggs. Anything that you can put it in that is natural form, that is food for them, that smells good, that you think smells good, because it doesn't necessarily have to be, again, they like the smell of garlic, so you wouldn't imagine they do, but they really do. Put it in there, give it to them in capsule fill. You can also get juices. Now, juice isn't really something you could give your dog. That may be something you want to have yourself, but it's not something necessary you give your dog. You could put a little bit over the food or maybe pour some of the juice in their water, which is obviously going to want to make them drink a little bit more because it'll have a little bit of taste to it. However, you just aren't getting the same nutrition out of a juice that you will out of the powder or the capsule. So your dog can have a shinier coat, fresher breath, better overall physical health. Again, chlorophyll, spirulina, garlic, these are all things found in our natural environment, in our fruits and vegetables. Think of the rainbow, green most importantly, but all of the other colors. Give them to your dogs, give them to yourself, give them to your cats, and we'll be living a healthier life. Thank you and have a wonderful week. God bless.
This program was brought to you by the Internet Broadcasting Organization, setting the standard for new media broadcasting.